beat him. Obviously, there's obviously a reason. Tell us about him and how's he looking coming in.
You know, all coaches have philosophies and all coaches have different systems. I just have always believed that the fans want to see knockouts. The fans want to see guys going down, and I've always coached my guys in a manner that I want to deliver knockouts. Sergey is not really the biggest puncher, but he's a persistent guy that's going to mix his punches real well. And hopefully this Sunday coming up, we'll get our 15th.
It's his first 10-round fight. We were talking earlier. It's good getting a guy who obviously has KOs and a lot of KOs, but you want him to get the experience. You want him to kind of have that. And you were telling me what's good in his case is that he has all these world champions he's sparring with Sario and Alfredo Angulo. Tell us about that.
Well, the advantage that he has and that he gets to work with quality opposition. We've had a lot of rounds with Sebastian, the big tall kid, the 6'7" kid, southpaw. That's undefeated. Fundora, junior middleweight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they spar a lot of rounds together. He prepared Michel Soro for this fight Michel Soro just won the WBA title. Angulo's been sparring with him a lot. So he's getting a lot of experienced guys in there with him, which is going to make him learn all the tricks that a lot of guys wouldn't be able to learn just sparring. You have to spar with guys that are going to make you think, that are going to make you work, that are going to punish you for making mistakes, and that's what these guys do to him.
What you said, his style is very kind of pressure and accumulation and things like that. Is that, I guess, going forward? Is that how do you pay attention to defense, I guess, in that type of style? Like, how do you kind of incorporate defense in because he does have little defensive kind of, like things like movements. But I feel like being that pressure and wanting to get that knockout, maybe there's a lack of focus on defense as a fighter, at least.
No, there's always a focus on defense and there's always a focus on offense. But the name of the game is winning the fight, and the name of the game is the judges don't score defense, the judges score offense. Yes, we want defense, and yes, we work on defense on a daily basis. When he's sparring with guys like Soro and Angulo, you have to have defense or you're going to be on your butt.
Yeah, especially Angulo.
Yes.
Both those guys. Really,
so if he's doing it offensively, he's doing it defensively also. But these questions, like you just asked, if you go back and look at all the punch stats that CompuBox did, and Andre Ward used to get hit with 22 to 28% of the punches. They're gonna get hit, and he's one of the better fighters. He's one of the defensive fighters. Yeah. Rigondeaux, the same thing. So this is boxing, and they're gonna get hit because the other guy wants to win too. I'm not disparaging Andre Ward because they're one of the great fighters of our time, but this is boxing, and you're gonna get hit, and you just have to make sure that you're hitting the other guy less than he's hitting you. More than he's hitting you, I'm sorry.
More than he's hitting, yeah. I want to talk to you, man. This weekend, Manny Pacquiao looked phenomenal against Keith Thurman. 40 years old, looked like 25-ish, you know what I mean? I don't know, what were your thoughts? How'd you see the fight?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
In France. I was with Soro.
Oh, that's right.
So I didn't see it because I'm there for Soro, and really that's the only thing on my mind. I don't really, I'm not one of those tourist kind of coaches. I stay in my room and I concentrate on what my job is Saturday night, so I didn't get to see it, no.
But you heard...
Of course I read about it, yes, of course.
Did you expect that prior to it?
6 in the morning when they fought over there, so I'm getting ready to get up to go on another flight. I said before the fight that I thought Manny would win. Thurman is a good fighter, but I just think Manny is one of those special. There's 3 or 4 special ones in our era right now, in Floyd, Manny, Canelo, GGG. When a group like this comes along, as it was in the 80s with Duran, Hagler, and all those guys, I think that this group is going to be remembered as a special group. And it was a bit difficult to beat Manny right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, he got the win. Is there someone that sticks out to you as a clear-cut kind of next person up for Manny?
Errol is. Stay away from Errol.
Stay away from Errol?
Stay away from Errol. Yes, I think Errol Spence is the next one in line to become a superstar. I just like everything about him. I think he's an exceptional fighter. When he came out of the Olympics, I was asked who I thought was going to be the best pros, and I said that Errol and Marcus Brown were going to be the best pros. Marcus Brown, unfortunately, has had some issues legally, but he's a very good fighter. He's a world champion, and Errol has really gone beyond what I thought he could do. He's an exceptional fighter.
Really is. Earl's in a good scrap with Sean Porter coming up September 28th. What are your thoughts on that? How do you, obviously, or you're big on Earl, so I see who you're picking. But break down the fight again.
Errol, Sean Porter is a good fighter, just not on the level of Errol Spence. But Errol needs those kind of fights to continue to grow as a fighter, continue to grow not only as inside the ring but outside the ring. He needs that exposure so that people get to see who he really is. But I have a fighter fighting on that card. I have Angulo fighting on that card against Chavez, supposedly. And I have...
we scheduled that.
They're talking about that. They're talking about the 28th, the next big card, and that's the next big card. And I also have a young man from Turkey that's coming in tomorrow, I believe, to my gym. He's the young man that fought Anthony Durrell in his last fight, and the fight got stopped on a cut. He will fight supposedly the winner of Durrell and Benavidez. So we're going to have a fight on that card, and then we fight the winner.
That's a good fight too, the Benavidez and Durrell. Talk to us about that one.
You know, David was in my gym when he was about 16 years old. And back then you could tell that he was just going to be something special. And he's got a difficult fight coming up, and it's a difficult fight only because he hasn't been active. And he had those issues with the belt and stuff like that. But he's a special talent too. If he makes up his mind that he wants to be a superstar, he can be.
He's a dangerous guy for sure, man. I think he's on the road to that as well. I agree with you on that one. Just before I leave Spence, Crawford Spence. I know you're really big on Spence. I don't know if what you've seen, you know, with the competition, I guess maybe even you see him kind of going through Porter. Yeah. I feel that makes him even better for Crawford once that fight happens.
Well, I think just like when Floyd took on Canelo early in Canelo's career, he did it correctly because he did it before Canelo grew. I think that Spence gets 3 or 4 more fights like this Porter fight. It's going to be very difficult for Crawford to beat him. Crawford gets him now. He may get him on experience, but 3 or 4 more fights like this one coming up with Porter, Spence is going to be difficult to beat.
That's hopefully we get that fight, man, and hopefully it's not too long either.
That's a super fight. Look, maybe the end of next year. The end of next year, and I think that fight will be Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, the first fight. I mean, that's the kind of fight it is. It's an exceptional fight with 2 exceptional fighters.
And they're both dogs like that too. They're both willing to dog.
They're just like that fight. Like I just said, Hearns, and they're both winners, and they both killers, and they both have a chip on their shoulder that nobody's going to knock it off.
100%. Well, I couldn't have said it better.